Hello, and listen here. Before you pack your bags and book that one-way ticket to Thailand, thinking you are about to live like a king on 50 quid a week, let me save you from making the same colossal mistake I have watched hundreds of expats make over the years. Thailand is not the bargain basement paradise your mate Dave told you about after his 2-week holiday in Phuket. It is not all massages, mango sticky rice and Mai Tais by the beach. The reality, most Western expats who rock up here with stars in their eyes end up either broke, bitter, or on the next plane home within a couple of years. Furthermore, here is a kicker. It has nothing to do with Thailand being rubbish. It is because most of us Westerners are hopeless at understanding what we are actually getting ourselves into in Thailand. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you exactly why so many expats fail spectacularly in the land of smiles, and more importantly, how you can avoid becoming another cautionary tale. The rose-tinted glasses problem. Now, before I go any further, let me be crystal clear. Thailand is bloody brilliant. The people are genuinely lovely, the food is exceptional, and yes, your money does go further here. Nevertheless, here is where it all goes tits up for most Westerners. We show up thinking we are going to live like colonial overlords on our Western pensions, completely oblivious to the fact that we are about to clash headfirst with a culture that has been doing things their way for centuries. Moreover, spoiler alert, they are not particularly interested in changing for us. The cultural collision course. Let me paint you a picture. You have your average British bloke. Let us call him Jeffrey. Jeffrey has spent 40 years climbing the corporate ladder, living by the mantra, time is money, and work hard, play hard. He rocks up in Thailand, expecting everyone to share his obsession with productivity and efficiency. However, Thailand runs on something called Sanuk, which basically means, if it is not fun, why bother? Imagine Jeffrey's face when his internet installation takes 3 days because the technician keeps stopping to chat with his mates and enjoy a proper meal. Jeffrey is having kittens while the technician is having the time of his life. The Buddhist influence here is massive too. While we are frantically chasing material success and 5-year plans, Thai culture embraces impermanence, the idea that nothing lasts forever, so you might as well enjoy the moment. It is like trying to run Windows on a Mac. Technically possible, but you are going to have compatibility issues. The money trap. Now, let us talk brass tacks. Everyone bangs on about how cheap Thailand is, but here is the inconvenient truth that nobody mentions in those living in paradise for pennies YouTube videos. Yes, you can survive on $500 a month if you are prepared to live like a monk. However, most expats, they are spending between $600 to $900 monthly, and that is just to maintain a basic Western standard of living. If you want to live properly, you are looking at considerably more. Furthermore, here is something that will make you want to spit your tea out. Bangkok can be as expensive or even more so than London for some things. I kid you not. The real kicker is the regional disparities. Bangkok and the Eastern Economic Corridor are where the opportunities are, but they are also where your wallet goes to die. Meanwhile, the northern and northeast regions might be cheaper, but some would say good luck in finding reliable internet or decent choice for healthcare when you need it. Then there is the household debt situation. Thailand is sitting on debt levels at nearly 87% of GDP. That is not directly your problem, but it creates financial instability that affects everyone, including expats trying to establish themselves. The bureaucratic nightmare. Right, brace yourselves for this one. Thai bureaucracy makes the British tax office or even the Home Office look like a model of efficiency. Many would say immigration laws change more often than the weather, and nobody, and I mean nobody, seems to know what the actual requirements are from one day to the next. However, in my opinion, the immigration laws are not changed that much, only the enforcement of them has. I have watched expats spend days trying to sort out visa renewals, only to be told they need completely different documents than what they were told the previous week. It is like playing a game where the rules keep changing or being enforced, but nobody bothers to tell you. However, do not get me started on tax compliance. Recent changes to foreign income tax rules have left many expats more confused than a tourist who is trying to navigate the traffic in Bangkok. The lovely part? Ignorance is not an excuse under Thai law. Get it wrong and you are in for penalties that will make your eyes water. Oh, and everything is in Thai. Shocking, I know. However, it means you are constantly dependent on translators or hoping the person behind the desk speaks enough English to help you. However, it could all change in the flap of a butterfly's wings. The social integration minefield. Here is where things get properly interesting. Thai communication is even more indirect than the British person's endless stream of apologies. They will hint at things rather than telling you straight out, which leaves us literal-minded Westerners constantly misreading situations. I have seen expats being properly wound up because they think locals are being evasive or dishonest, when actually they are just being polite according to their cultural norms. It is like expecting everyone to understand that when a Brit says quite good, which they probably mean absolutely terrible. The hierarchy nature of Thai society is another curveball. Age and status matter here in ways that would make your average democratic Westerner break out in hives. You cannot just rock up and expect to be treated as an equal. There is a social order and you need to figure out where you fit. The housing reality check. Everyone gets excited about Thai property prices until they actually start looking. Sure, you can rent a decent place for $700 or to $1,280 a month, but that is assuming you want to live like a human being rather than a backpacker. Moreover, as for buying property, good luck with that legal maze. Foreign ownership rules are about as clear as mud, and I have watched too many expats stitched up by developers selling off-plan properties that exist only in someone's imagination. The expat addiction phenomenon. Now, here is something nobody talks about, what I call the Thailand sickness. It is this addictive quality that life here can have. The initial excitement, the freedom, the exotic appeal, it is intoxicating. Nevertheless, like any addiction, the highs are usually followed by crushing lows. I have seen perfectly rational people become completely obsessed with Thailand, burning bridges back home, spending money they do not have, and making decisions they would never make in their right minds. Then reality hits, and they either have to crawl back home with their tails between their legs or double down on a lifestyle that is slowly destroying them. The language barrier reality. Despite what everyone says about everyone speaks English, the truth is that outside tourist areas, you're stuffed without some basic Thai. I have watched expats live here for years, completely dependent on their Thai partners for everything from shopping to dealing with officials. It creates this weird power imbalance in relationships and leaves you feeling like a helpless child half the time. Yet many expats refuse to learn even basic phrases, convinced that English should be enough. It is like moving to France and being offended that not everyone speaks English. It is not going to end well. However, if you maintain your patience, talk slowly in English with hand gestures and mimes, you may get through in the end. The uncomfortable truth about crime. Here is the bit nobody wants to talk about, but I'm going to say it anyway. With more foreigners moving to Thailand, there has been an uptick in crime committed by expats themselves. It is uncomfortable, but it is real, and it affects how locals view all of us. Some foreigners arrive thinking they can behave however they like because they have Western money. They are rude, entitled, and sometimes worse. It creates problems for all of us who are trying to integrate respectfully. Look, I'm not trying to put you off Thailand. After years of living here, I still think it is one of the best places on earth. However, the fantasy version sold by travel bloggers and retirement gurus is about as realistic as expecting to live like royalty on benefits. Thailand will challenge everything you think you know about how the world should work. Your Western efficiency will clash with Thai concepts of time. Your direct communication style will confuse locals. Your expectations about customer service, bureaucracy and social interaction will be turned upside down. The expats who succeed here are the ones who come with humility, patience and genuine respect for Thai culture. They learn the language, or even a little bit, adapt to local customs and understand that they are guests in someone else's country. The ones who fail, they are the ones who show up expecting Thailand to accommodate them rather than the other way round. So, before you book that ticket, ask yourself honestly, are you ready to be the one who changes, or are you expecting Thailand to change for you? Because I can tell you right now which is more likely to happen. So, right then, I would love to hear from you lot. Are you planning to move to Thailand, or have you already made the leap? What has been your biggest challenge, or what is your biggest concern? Drop a comment below and let's have a proper discussion about the realities of expat life here in Thailand. Finally, if this video saved you from making a costly mistake or gave you something to think about, do me a favour and give it a thumbs up. It will help more people see this brutally honest truth about living in Thailand, rather than just those glossy promotional stuff and all those annoying influencer videos. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.